Hi, I'm Avni Bansal with LiveLaw, and today we are celebrating the United Nations International Day for People with Disabilities. Now, in India, today we have 2.68 crore people who are suffering from disability of one kind or the other, including physical, mental, intellectual, or sensory impairment, which prohibits their participation in their daily lives as a full human being like everybody else can. Now, today, if we look at the railway stations, we look at hospitals, educational institutions, metro stations, it's hard for a person like me to imagine how do I access these places. Therefore, it is even harder to imagine how people with disability would imagine accessing these places. The Supreme Court has asked the Indian government what are its plans to provide to make all public spaces accessible to people, including people with disabilities, and the central government so far has not come up with a very strong, convincing answer. The question is, do we have a law in India that talks of and protects the rights of people who are disabled? Fortunately, we do have a law which was passed in the year 1995. It's called Persons with Disabilities Act 1995. But this act has been described largely as ineffective. Some of the important provisions of this act are that it lays down 7 different types of disabilities, and any person who is suffering from these 7 different kinds of disabilities or one of them is entitled under this act to claim for several provisions. For instance, they can claim for reservation, and the limitation for reservation is 3% in educational institutions and employment opportunities in government institutions. They can also claim for special protection under the 1995 Act. However, because of the ineffectiveness of this Act to protect the rights of people with disabilities, a separate and a new bill was introduced in the Parliament of India in the year 2014. It's called the Persons with Disabilities Bill 2014. Now, this bill increases the scope of who we define as a disabled person and lays down 19 categories as opposed to 7 categories. It also lays down special provisions for guardianship and makes a distinction between limited guardianship and plenary guardianship. Limited guardianship are guardians appointed for mentally ill people, but who will have to take any decisions about the life of the disabled person along with that disabled person. However, if the person or the mental disability is of such a nature that it is completely it completely prohibits the person from taking any decision about his or her life, then the plenary guardian could take decisions on behalf of such a mentally disabled person. The most important and notable feature of the 2014 bill is that it increases the limit of reservation from 3% to 5% in educational institutions and employment opportunities in government institutions. However, this bill has been long pending. There has been much movement, much talk. However, the government completely fails to do anything in this direction. The question is, do all of us care enough for the rights of these 2.68 crore people to talk about this issue, to press the Indian government to push forward and create India and make India a space where the rights of each and every person are protected equally? I hope that through this short video, we're able to bring this very important issue of the rights of people who are disabled, or as we should ideally call them, differently abled, to the discussion rooms in each and every house in India. If you are with me and if you are with LiveLaw on this issue, I please request you to share this video and to comment what you think of it, to bring this discussion alive in India so that together and collectively we can push the Indian government to pass the bill that's pending since 2014. Thank you for watching. I'm Avni Bansal with LiveLaw. Thank you.